in this series as Roll20 and Dignitas is ready to face off on their second map. It's going to be Sky Temple. Dignitas with the choice, meaning that Roll20 will have first pick.
Okay, so also we have Wooby back. So this is going to be the next important one. So as we said before, Monkey for one map. Wooby couldn't make that in time, but now Wooby is actually here. So we're having the normal lineup back for Dignitas. I still have to admit that I don't know what to expect from the drafting. Just simply because, as we said before, there's nothing on the line for both of the teams. They both will hold on to their particular spot. So, especially from Roll20's perspective, you don't want to show too much. You want to be in a setup where you at least show some competitiveness, but you're not trying to reveal any strategies that you might already prepare for the Crucible, because you know that those teams are going to scout you out, so don't provide any additional information. So I feel everything that we're going to see from them is either going to be a little bit wonky, where they might go into a last pick that is unexpected, or it's something where they are just falling back on strategies that they used within the last 2-3 weeks, just simply because they know those are already out there, so there's no harm in playing.
I mean, I'd be okay with this being the last official series that Quack is playing in, that we get a false set coming in here for kind of an old step sake, and if we take that a step further and maybe go triple global, something that we saw in the MSB of 2017, right? Gosh, that was so far away. Brightwing, Dahaka, Falstad all mixed in, a bit of a Quack special. Be a nice little send-off.
Yeah. But then you would have to get Brightwing.
Yeah, I knew
before
that was
the rework. I know, you baited that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too hard on that.
You don't have to. Just got a rework coming soon, actually. Yeah.
I mean, everyone realizing that's not actually a hero, so then they were trying to make it viable, and I absolutely applaud that. I would love to have a rework Brightwing back in the game.
Poor Fairy Dragon, man. Just beating up on her.
Let me hate on her as long as I can, because...
You should play one game before she goes fully out.
Why?
Just, you know...
Why would I torture myself?
For memories. Memories are always great. Negative and positive. They build your character. They make you a person. Let's go to Sky Temple.
What if I want to be a robot?
All right. As a reminder, Wooby is back. Here we go. Game number 2. Dignitas is up 1-0.
Okay, so bans. I mean, you can actually target globals right away coming into this. They know that Wooby is back, right? Okay, so the chance that we're going to see an early ban against Samuro are a little bit smaller here. I'm actually surprised that they didn't ban Samuro in the first game. They must have known that Monkey isn't there. So the last time...
I mean, it was in the lobby. They knew.
Yeah. Surprises me. Honestly does. They probably didn't expect that it would be a first pick.
Yeah.
I would argue. But okay, Garrosh and Genji, the first ones to be banned out here. No globals targeted yet, but Wooby is relieved of his URL. So this game, no URL for Wooby.
Zarmi can easily take the Dahaka, which is something that we would typically see Dignitas move into afterwards. So Dignitas needs to think about it. Do they want to ban Dahaka here?
I mean, you can, yeah, you can even first pick it here, obviously.
Or they could pick a Murky, as our cameraman is trying to convince them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind either. There it is. There's Dahaka.
Dahaka first pick. Kind of to be expected. It is Sky Temple. And as we just said, URL already banned out. You get your Dahaka. A hero that we still have up now, though, is Abathur.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, you can play Abathur with Dahaka. Against Dahaka, you need to be careful with your positioning extremely. Where you appear on the map, but there's, there we have it.
There it is.
Right away.
Suddenly, Valera is something that you start thinking about too.
Yeah, suddenly Samuro is actually an option.
Yeah. Something that Wooby has actually played in the past. The OE of last year of MSB.
Abathur Samuro is ridiculous to raise down structures.
Ridiculous is definitely a word. I would go with stupid to play against.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You can rush anything down so quickly, it's scary. Murder and Tirana, so a good old Mirana composition to roam the map between the lanes and try and get those early game kills if you can. In addition to that, Dahaka for an additional CC with the Tongue, the global control. Much better draft for Roll20 already.
Yeah, setting up for the battleground, setting up for kills, which is something you typically want to try and grab on Sky Temple, so you can have the Temple phase under your belt.
Compared to game number 1, this is definitely a massive improvement to what they have now.
So, next band coming in will be the Maiev. Dignitas taking away the ability for you to go for a full-on engage. Probably wanting to play around the map there and try to prevent their opponents from getting the engage they want, trying to pick off somebody. So Roll20, what are you been out here? Do you think about the Valeera, or do you try to take out a tank that you're scared of?
I'm honestly thinking about Samuro right now.
Yeah?
With nothing on the line, and the last game already played like this, you have an Abathar on Sky Temple. I've seen that already, playing around that. I could totally see that.
Let's find out.
Yeah, Valeera would be fun too. I think that Dignitas is definitely going to throw a little bit of a curveball. If you get an Abathar in this setup, you can definitely play that. You can play an Abathar solo composition if you want, but Abathar, of course, is still in a spot where you have to be really careful with how you play it against that Dehaka. Boss control is another thing that I want to highlight a little bit on the drafts. We have already Junkrat with the Cuff of Mine, but I want to see a little bit more than that. Okay, Tracer Abathar here. So that kind of shuts down a few of the hopes that we had. Could still be a solo support though. Abathar solo support, that is.
So for Roll20, they're pretty durable already, actually. And you also have the spell armor at level 1 for Tyrande, so you can handle that pulse bomb. All you need now is some kind of damage to answer back against Tracer. Greymane comes to mind as a pickup.
Yeah, Dignitas is going to run this with an Abathar solo support.
Needing a Greymane come out.
All right.
All right, final pick. Dignitas, what are you doing? Gonna play the solo Abby life?
Yeah. Zelia is going to be an Abathar, I feel. Gonna have Zelia on Abathar, and then Wooby is going to take Valeera, Samuro. What else would really work well with this right now on the offlane?
Rexar. Samuro, wow, they're doing it.
There we go, I like it. Like again, as we said, he is stupid when it comes to raising down any kind of structure with an Abathar.
If you're Roll20 right now, do you just eyeball roll? We're like, Samuro again, especially after game number 1.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're better set up now. You have Dehaka, like everything that they have basically is just so much better as a setup to deal with the situation. Then again, last game they only faced Samuro. Now they face a Samuro and Abathar composition. That's already the copy that you can get. That's the symbiote alone. So even the core can be threatened super easily by that particular composition that they are running right now. And it's honestly scary. I mean, this is a scary lineup that Dignitas has here, and even with Greymane and Dehaka, it's going to be a bit tough for Roll20 to coordinate that properly, because this is really a macro game that Dignitas is trying to run mainly.
But if they find it, that's one Storm Ball into a Lunar Flare, Hunter Mark on top of it, Greymane to pounce afterwards, Lean Minion resets coming in. It is definitely there, it's just a matter of finding that moment. Dignitas did show in game number 1, and of course, this entire phase that they are willing to dance around their opponent, and they're able to perform. Just a matter of whether Roll20 can find that moment. So I'm looking at Robodoba. He's going to be the one that really starts the engagements for this team. Let's go ahead and get ready for game number 2. Samuro against Dehaka, our second Samuro of the day, as Wubby will be playing it this time.
No monkey in game number 2. How about Sky Temple? So we're going to jump into that and see if... Yeah, we see if Wubby actually can perform on the same level. If they lose the game right now, we know who the better Samuro is.
Do you think Wubby came in this game, he's like, I can do Samuro too. Let's do it.
Maybe.
Here we go, on the left side in the blue. Shad on Tyrande, Quack on Greymane, Chris on Liming, Robodoba on Muradin, and Zarmony to play Dehaka.
And to the right side of Sky Temple, Dignitas starting in red with a Snitch, playing currently in game number 1 on Junkrat. We're having Poik, of course, on the Tracer. JPL finds himself on Johanna in the second game. Zelia with a solo support Abathar. And the Whoopster playing Samuro.
Zarmony in the top. Gonna take some damage here from Poik, but it's the main fight here on the right side that we need to keep an eye on, as Johanna takes some damage on the front line and will drop down that Iron Skin. Now Team Dignitas, and their goal here is to try and find an edge somewhere on the map, trying to break open a turret, get a lane pushing forward, and try to set themselves up for that mid game. That's what the early game is all about. You have an Abathar on your battleground, so you want to make sure that you're able to find trades that are efficient for you.
Yeah, right now, if you're Dignitas, you're going to try and play this slow. You're trying to just play the explosive when a fight happens. You're playing a lot around your Poik Tracer together with Abathar Head. Wooby is going to pressure the side lanes throughout the entire game, and the more structures you can take out with that, the better for you. So it's all about, with an Abathur as a solo support, it's really about timing on the engagements, when exactly you want to go in, because drawn-out fights in a poke battle is something that you really try to avoid, since it's pretty tough, difficult for Abathur to sustain yourself through.
Right now we got Tracer and Junkrat in the top lane against Zarmony, and Zarmony's going to have to deal with the wave clear coming his way, but also some damage on his turrets, while the rest of Roll20 is working on grabbing the Merc camps and keeping that bottom lane under control from Samuro. Being diligent is one of your best assets to dealing with a Samuro. Staying on top of him, chasing him around, going for that level 10, trying to stay equal in experience too.
So let's see how exactly Roll20 is going to play right now. Abathur is going to be the big hero to offset a lot of these matches, because normally when you're having that Dehaka against the Muro matchup, you can really make a lot of plays as Dehaka, but once that you have an Abathur in play, you offsets every kind of balance that you have in that. Now, as I just said, Roll20 is going to be the team that's going to try and force fights. Dignitas is going to try and avoid them. That's why we're having these massive engages and aggressive move by Roll20. They want to force those battles onto Dignitas and say, okay, either you face us in a team fight, or you're just going to give infrastructure and also camps up on the map. But Dig was still able to secure, thanks to Junkrat, that Siege Giant camp for themselves here.
Yeah, I was actually expecting a little bit more aggression there from Roll20. A full jump in for Murden maybe afterwards, have Dehaka come in for the burrow. But at the same time, if you go for that full commitment and you don't grab it, the game could be over. You know?
Exactly. If you burrow in and then all of a sudden you don't get a kill, then you have a problem. But even outside of that, they could have tried and forced it a bit more. But they make at least the aggressive rotations happen and try to play around that. Now we have the True Shot aura taken for Tyrande on level 1. So we see that, and of course, I mean, the Caldera resistance on level 1, the spell power. There's not really too many stuns that we're having there right now. I'm still thinking a little bit if the Blessed Shield alone would be something that's worth it, but I don't really think that's going to be the case, and especially against the way that we're going to see Poik trying to get those Tracer bombs out, is it going to be the best if you have that extra resistance and can keep the front line alive here. Abathur, of course, heading straight into the Carapace build. And this is now the moment when it's starting to become a little bit interesting of how this is going to plan out, once we have those temples spawning. Because immediately we're seeing that 1 versus 1 setup at the bot lane, where Abathur can now offset the balance of Samuro versus Dehaka. And that's already a bit what we're seeing happening here.
Yeah, and this is where the chores of an Abathur jumps up too, with that level 4 coming online and being able to persist shield. Just jump in, drop a hat, do a little bit of damage, and make sure you keep everyone nice and healthy the entire time. Also, while keeping an eye on those waves, which will allow for both Samuro and Tracer to really pull off their job, which is to be a complete nuisance the entire game. This top lane is actually pushing in pretty effectively. It's going to be able to start putting some damage on the support, while Quack is left to himself here to deal with Poik, but already Poik steps up, gets off the pulse bomb, gets in the melee, and I think Quack is probably going to retire after that one.
Wow.
I love you, Quack.
Bully. No, but I mean, there's a couple of things really with all of this. At this point, if you look at it, Roll20 is falling actually quite far behind at this point in time. They already lost the Forest Fort. They lost the entire Temple Top, even though there's an Abathur on the other side. And now that solo kill, of course, is not doing, making things any better. I mean, this is really starting getting tricky. Chris with his Li Ming went full into Force Armor, into the Charged Blast, even on level 4, and we have him now with the Calamity. So it's really trying to make sure that you get a ton of damage out with this, since you know you have to go for these quick kills. But
also putting a lot of fate in Murd and Tyrande too. You're expecting them to land that combo.
Things are not looking too pretty right now. Good damage against Wooby though. That could really help out if they can get a kill there. But look at Chat. Chat's in trouble, and JPL now moves in together with Poik. And that Abathur hat is just adding to the damage. Second kill for Dignitas. This is brutal for Roll20.
I love how Poik used JPL as a meat shield. JPL just stood in the middle, made himself an anchor, and make sure if a drag was going to be coming out, it would not connect with them so he could finish off that kill. Great teamwork. Also, of course, got the Abathur come in there and bring in the damage and the healing, but you love to see moments like that where the full synergy of Heroes of the Storm is showcased. Gosh, I miss seeing those moments, and I love the HGC for moments like that, even though it's a small thing. Just got to point it out.
I also like that we're having now Mule taken for Abathur. I mean, this is really a game where I think Roll20 is about to get a beating here. You have Mule, you have the Stain already on the structures, you have an opponent that is already about to control the macro game a level ahead with level 10. and going for even more of those towers at the bot lane with that Siege Giant camp that they took earlier. The big problem on Sky Temple is still that those objectives attack structures directly. So the more structures you take down, just simply by pushing with a hero, by using mercenaries, building up waves, any of these tools outside of the objective itself, the stronger the objective becomes for that team. And that's a fact that Dignitas is currently exploiting heavily. They already have an infrastructure advantage, and they get even more from that through Mule, and things are not really getting any better for Roll20, especially once the map opens up. That's another advantage for Abathar and Samuro.
Roll20 is about to hit level 10 though. He'll be able to jump in. Greymane is going to be the main focus for me here. Can he get on top of Poik and burn down that Tracer? That Spell Shield coming in, paying off really well from Shad. He puts it on top of Chris there, making sure that that Pulse Bomb doesn't do too much damage. They can heal on up. And here we go. Temple grab by Roll20, and they are sieging away while Samuro does his thing in the top lane.
Yeah, this is a temple that they definitely have to win. And Samuro had also some assistance from Abathar, as you could see on the minimap. So he's really starting to pressure Dehaka and pushing that out. But again, Dignitas is actually invading the bot lane. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that moment when Roll20 is just saying, okay, we have 4 versus 3 down here, let's go. But the Stormbolt misses. As we see Roll20 jumping in, JPL also dodging out. And the pressure is still continuing with even now Greymane forced into the middle of the map because Abathar was pushing that out, and if you don't make that transition, you lose out on the minion wave.
But Roll20 has been able to tap, another Pulse Bomb comes out, Shad heals himself, also dropping off the Shadow Stock. Zelia with the clone here in the front lines, attempting to put some damage out, but nothing too crazy. Dignitas does take over the temple though. Yeah,
what Dignitas just did with that Reptile, I mean, they didn't get a kill, but they at least took the minion wave down. So that pushes the minion wave of Dignitas straight over, and Roll20 has to be careful around that. And look at that, Zamani now burrow down, and that leaves Samuro alone. This is the big trade-off that you have to go for. If you make that burrow down to the bot lane, and you use your global here, you need to get something out of that, and they didn't.
Not even a temple shot. Negative trade-off for them, as this 4 is down to less than a quarter health. Samuro's in the top lane, break it through the wall, thinking about going to a keep, and Dignitas is doing the same thing we saw in game number 1, keeping Roll20 here. Quack is the focus as Poik goes in. Can he find the kill? He gets it.
Yeah, down goes Greymane, and at the top we have now towers going down. The wall is basically completely destroyed. The fort at the bot lane has been eliminated. We're looking at the 2-level lead. The macro play is just a bit too strong. Zelia here is doing his thing, and it looks grim. Boss is being attacked. That's actually a moment where I could see Roll20 try and make a bit of a move. They need to be careful though, since there is a concussion mine, but still, that's a moment where you can make your play. Dehaka comes in. There they go, they grab the boss, they have it, and Chris is also getting pressured here again by Tracer. Somebody with the drag attempt doesn't hit anything. Roll20 is in trouble, he's not the only one. They're going for Dehaka, and he might be in a pretty bad spot here, but there's not enough follow-up since everyone was starting to split from Dignitas, going on to different targets.
I'm actually surprised that Roll20 was able to get out of that fight. I thought for sure one of the 2 of them would have been picked off. So solid escape from them. But they still have to deal with the boss in the bottom lane that JPL is bolstering out, clearing out the waves, pushing it forward, and Samuro goes back to the top lane and continues to camp up there as he grabs a bruiser camp.
They're trying to go for Johanna, and they're actually going to get that kill, but the boss is still getting some value doing all of this. And look at Samuro, he's already at the camp again, he's taking that, and he starts to go through that top lane here. This is really starting to get incredibly rough. Wooby is doing his thing, he's going to force a reaction topside, and that means that Roll20 has to peel players off to deal with this push, which they cannot use to get any of these temples. So that's another objective that you can secure for yourself. They're not even reacting to this. Only Tirana's making her way back. There is just no way that she's going to have any impact here. This is going to be a keep.
Shad's like, guys, hey, listen, top lane, guys. And they're like, no, we actually have to push down here in the bottom lane. Dehaka even going straight down there looking for Abathar, but Abathar is tucked away nicely into that bottom right well area. So Roll20 will lose out on that keep in the top left with no response. It's going to be Catapult pushing in the top lane with the aid of the Night Camp, and the temple is grabbed by Wubby.
Yeah, this is currently a horrible spot. This is a disaster for Roll20. I mean, hands down. They're losing the last fort in the middle right now. The core is already getting attacked by those minions. You know, honestly, if Samuro would have been there, he could have just started to chip away on the shield too. And definitely get some extra damage in as well, because Roll20 just didn't react to it. But now we're having more keeps attacked directly, and this is a tough time. It's 3 levels behind, talent disadvantage. Where do you go from here?
Game 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's rough. It really is. Especially on Sky Temple. it just gets worse and worse. Eventually, you just have to keep going for the high-risk plays. It can fail once, it can fail twice, the game is over, right? So Armory gets in here instead of for defense. His best bet is to make sure to clear out the catapults and then try and find the clone. But
there's Abatha.
Wobby's going to clean around it, play around it.
Abatha is helping out with it again, keeping the Haka back. That's 10% on the core already as is. Bottom temple has been taken over again. This is brutal. This is actually tough to watch, I'm not gonna lie. Roll20 is getting completely outclassed in this game.
It's tough to watch because I can't come up with a solution. I mean, I can't even imagine what's going through their comms right now, right? Like, you have to force something. They're gonna go for a pretty big flank here on the bottom. They had Murden come all the way from the top, move in through the minion wave, and he's trying to find somebody, but Dignitas spots him.
The only thing that's gonna happen here, most of the time, Dignitas can just simply keep Samura at the top lane, continuously pressure the core, and force Roll20 to react over and over again, and then make a rotation. Look at Samura, he's at the core again. Like, they're trying to get a kill here against Poik. They might even get the kill. But the core is already falling. And now Greymane is dead. That core is gonna die. Wooby alone is gonna take it down. There's the copy on Abatha, and that's game.
No way this can be stopped. Team Dignitas keeping the push. Will be committing as well, getting off the crit strikes, and there she blows. Team Dignitas able to get a 2-0 over Roll20 as they take out the core.
Abatha Samuro is pretty strong, Sky Temple in particular.
Yeah.
And there was just no real answer from Roll20. They got just out-rotated, outclassed. Yeah, it's only 4 kills against 1. But it doesn't really matter because the ways that we've seen there, I mean, just look at Samuro, 15,000 hero damage. He doesn't really participate in too many big fights or anything. He just outplayed them the entire time. Play around them, force them back,